You know that Steve Harvey loves to share relationship advice with the rest of us, but it seems like he follows some of his recommendations when it comes to choosing a man. Well, in the world of Hollywood, when every new day is marked with another scandal, it's still hard to believe that Steve Harvey has tons of skeletons in his closet. And guys, you'll be shocked to see the compelling evidence about Steve's true preferences and hear how his family learned about his love for men. Well, make sure to stick around because I'm diving straight into the juicy details. Hi everyone and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. Steve Harvey is currently making headlines, but it's not about his amazing skills of a TV host or a stand-up comedian. The allegations that the comedian and motivational speaker is cheating on his wife, Marjorie Harvey, spread across the media like a plague, and apparently things are even messier than we think. Well, Steve is no stranger to sleeping with other women while being in a committed relationship. And you remember, his first 2 marriages ended because he was cheating on his spouses. And although his most latest mistress Marjorie turned into his wife, apparently, even this hot and gorgeous lady cannot satisfy all the needs of the comedian. And there were rumors circulating in Hollywood that Steve is seeking pleasures on the side with men. And with Steve's so skillfully constructed image of a father or multiple kids and having Marjorie by his side for almost 16 years, no one would believe that's hiding behind this facade of total masculinity if there wasn't compelling evidence exposing the TV host.
Something that's better at a gay bar than other bars.
Well, Steve may deny anything he wants, but the truth will always surface. And according to Essie Berry, a civil rights activist, Steve has a lot of closeted truth. According to Essie, the exposure of Steve's secret affairs with men started in 2013 when she was helping Mary Harvey, Steve Harvey's ex-wife, with some legal matters. Essie stated that Steve did not like the fact that she was helping his ex-spouse, and he began intimidating her with scare tactics along with threatening and harassing messages. In fact, he was afraid that Essie could dig so deep that all the truth about his life would surface. And apparently, Essie learned something while she was working with Steve's ex-wife. As the civil rights activist stated, Mary and her son Winton had discovered a secret door in the house with a digital lock on it. After multiple attempts, the boy finally cracked the code, but I guess they wish they never have discovered what was inside because it shocked both Mary and her son to the very core. This secret lair was full of tubes with Vaseline in the drawers, and what most was the shattering thing to witness is the photos of naked men on the computer screen. Well, they certainly didn't expect that from Steve, and the news of him enjoying the company of men is actually shocking. Well, people have long speculated on Harvey's strange comments and subtle hints during interviews and public appearances. But in the end, he was always very secretive about this side of his life, and he even threatened to harm Essie if she continues to dig up his secrets. As Essie said, Steve Harvey is a dangerous and ruthless man that hides behind his riches and fame. There is a dark side that resides within his soul. He is a manipulator, liar, and intimidator that threatens, cheats, bullies, and harasses black women that he feels has no power. But Essie is not the kind of woman to be silenced and threatened, so she hit the comedian with a restraining order, which ensured her safety and allowed her to spill the beans about Steve's double life. I mean, the speculations of Steve enjoying male company have been going on for ages, and fans also found many clues leading to the fact that Steve more than loyal to any forms of love and being with whatever partner is suitable for you. Once he commented on dubious parental behavior when parents cannot accept their LGBT kids and kick them out of the house and their lives. When Olympic skier Gus Kenworthy opened up about his experience of coming out to his parents at Steve's show, saying, "When I came out to my family, they were completely loving and supportive." Unfortunately, that's not a reality for a lot of LGBT youth. When they tell their parents, a lot of kids end up on the streets. Steve Harvey seemed stunned to hear that some parents reject their children for that, and he expressed his own opinion on that matter, saying, "You can't reject your child for falling in love and being himself." In the recent years, Steve had been trying to promote healthy thinking and prevent people from believing in stereotypes and patterns when it comes to relationships between two people. Well, it doesn't prove, of course, that Steve is into men himself, but there are plenty of other clues that might have outed him throughout his career, starting with his wardrobe and style choices. And you can't help but notice that they blur all the traditional masculinity vibes and give the impression of Steve being into bright and vibrant male parties. And here's more to add to Steve's image, and it comes from the fact that he loves to give recommendations to ladies about dating as if he understands something in pleasing a man. And it seems like he even gave away his preferences when he was talking about dating Asian men in one episode of his syndicated talk show, and he looked so repulsed of the idea of dating one. When discussing a book about relationship advice for Asian men, Steve couldn't refrain from a nasty comment, probably coming from his own experience, because how else could you explain such a racist jab at the entire nation for no reason?
Do you like Asian men? No.
Thank you.
Judging from the fact that Harvey proceeded to double over with laughter at own remarks, he didn't appear to see any issue with his words. For Harvey's comments weren't taken nicely by the audience, and fearing that his popularity could get a downfall because of this statement, so he finally decided to apologize for his words, and he even took it to his social media, tweeting, "I offer the humblest apology for offending anyone, particularly those in the Asian community last week. It was not my intention, and the humor was not meant with any malice or disrespect whatsoever." Many people believe that Steve was speaking about his own preferences, and for some reason, he couldn't imagine himself with an Asian man. Well, it seems like he has a vast choice of other people willing to sleep with him in his secret lair, and some fans can't process the fact that Steve Harvey is another closeted celebrity who cannot be open about preferences and even stoops so low that he secretly cheats on his current wife with men. As one user mentioned, "Not Steve Harvey. My childhood feels ruined. R. Kelly was right. He trapped in the closet. Now he is opening the closet." And another user added, "Maybe that's why he cheats, because a woman really doesn't satisfy him." And while Steve has trying hard to keep his secret, apparently some of his famous friends knew what was going on, and they tried to protect Steve from being exposed. Well, it's unclear whether any Steve's intercourse with men were consensual or not, and if his lovers were of age, but it seems quite shady that the comedian's friend Bill Cosby, who was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting former Temple University employee Andrea Constant at his Elkins Park, Pennsylvania mansion in January 2004, advised Steve to stay away from him so he doesn't draw any suspicions to himself. As Steve recalled, he was eager to support his friend, even despite the assault scandal, but Bill refused to talk to him. In Harvey's own words, "When I heard all the trouble he was in, I called and asked him how he was doing. You know what he says to me? Hey man, I appreciate you calling, but just stay away from me right now. You don't need none of this on you. You don't need none of this on you. You're doing good. Whatever happens to me, happens to me, but don't you get none of this on you." Well, guys, let's just hope that Harvey isn't involved into anything creepy, because we have enough examples in the industry when high-profile celebrities do despicable things. And although Steve never talked about himself being bisexual, he openly supported LGBT community and even repeatedly shared his own views about gays among the Black community and why everyone needs to embrace the fact that they are not going to change. When appearing on the red carpet at the Mark Twain Prize with his wife Marjorie, he said, "Whether you embrace the Black G communities or not, it's there. It's in our churches. It's in your homes. It's in your family. You're not going to turn your back on somebody because they made a statement that's not the same as yours. If you take them out of the Black community, you could pretty much shut churches down." Well, I wonder if Marjorie knows anything about her husband's secret affairs, and if she allows them in exchange for her own status and wealth. If the truth about Steve's affairs comes out, it may be a huge blow for her because many women would look up to her and see what she decides to do. So far, she is okay with her position by his side, and probably this union works for her, as it works for many other couples like Will Smith and Jada, Diddy and all his girlfriends, and other closeted celebs. Steve is being truly cautious, and if not some of these evidences, we might have never learned the truth. As one user mentioned, "Why do these celebrities believe they can actually keep this stuff secretive?" I'm actually surprised as shocked, cuz I wouldn't think Steve Harvey loves men. Sometimes it shows a person loves men. Steve Harvey didn't show any signs, but after Essie actually gave that mind-blowing interview, boy, I truly believed her. And another user added, "Steve is dressed like he's at a gay bar right now." Well, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that even the mighty Steve Harvey swings both ways, and that only raises concerns if the comedian is actually cheating on his wife with men, and whether she knows about his affairs. And what do you reckon? Will Steve ever openly admit that he's into men? And would Marjorie stay by his side after such revelations? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon